You're doing it your way, I'll try to respect that. As they become adults, we finally come to acceptance. Okay, maybe it's not the way I would have done it, but I accept you. It's your life. I accept your decisions. And when we watch our children become parents, sometimes we have holy envy. I know I observed that with our children. They had some techniques on child raising that I said, I wish we had known that when we were raising kids. How come we didn't do some of those things that they're doing? A little bit of holy envy. The challenge for us as we proceed, and returning back now to Jonathan Sacks, is can we recognize God's image in someone who is not in my image? There are times when God meets us in the face of a stranger. The global age has turned our world into a society of strangers. He goes on to say, this should not be a threat to our identity, but a call to a moral and spiritual generosity more demanding than we had supposed it to be. I've been involved for many years in science and religion dialogue. And in that realm, I have developed a concept that I think also applies to the interfaith dialogue, and that is courageous humility. We must be courageous in what we believe to be true, but we must be humble in our attitude about our own certitude. Too much courage leads to dogmatism. Too much humility leads to relativism. Michael Polanyi, the famous scientist and philosopher, in his book Personal Knowledge says, the principal purpose of this book is to achieve a frame of mind in which I may hold firmly to what I believe to be true, even though I know it might conceivably be false. Courageous humility. Over 1,000 years earlier than Polanyi, the Muslim jurist al-Shafi said, my view is right, but might be wrong. And the view of others is wrong, which might be right. Same concept, but more succinct. Isaac Newton, I think, also had that attitude when he said, I don't know what it may seem to the world, but as to myself, I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, diverting myself now and then to finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. The current scientist Jane Goodall says it another way. There are many windows through which we can look at the world, searching for meaning. Most of us peer through but one of those windows, and even that one is often misted over by the breath of our own finite humanity. In my own Christian tradition, we have the words of the Apostle Paul. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then we shall see face to face. May we all be courageous in stating what we believe to be true in our various faith journeys. But may we also be humble in our willingness to learn from others who may not believe as we do. We began today's service with a responsive thanksgiving and confession. I now ask us to continue in that spirit and in the spirit of courageous humility as we listen to the Kol Nidre by Max Bruch. The Kol Nidre is the traditional prayer on the eve of Yom Kippur, the Jewish Day of Atonement, and the holiest day of the year in that tradition. Its central theme is repentance. As we respond with the offering, let us also meditate on repentance. At the beginning of the Yom Kippur service, the leader and the congregation repeat 3 times, may all the people of God be forgiven, including the strangers who live in our midst, for all people are in fault. Let us respond with offering and meditate on repentance confession as we resolve to respect all persons as children of God who in their own ways are seeking meaning and peace.